The Houston Texans probably had the most exciting 20 minutes of any team in NFL draft history. 2 picks inside the top 3. They took CJ Stroud at number 2, traded up from 12 to number 3 to get Will Anderson Jr. from Alabama. You know, my unrealistic rebuild starting to look a little bit more realistic with all the craziness that goes on in the actual NFL. 2 top 3 picks. Didn't think we were ever going to see something like that, yet we saw it. And then going into 2024, the Cardinals, depending on how the Texans do, might be looking at a couple top 5 picks as well. It could be absolutely insane. But this Texans team, you know, they've got one of the easier opponent schedules in the 2023 season. So they could be primed to take a huge jump. DeMeco Ryans new head coach. You have a potential viable young quarterback in CJ Stroud now. Yes, you lose Brandon Cooks, but you got Tank Dell in the draft. John Mechie, thankfully, is going to be healthy and playing in 2023. Super excited to see him. Nico Collins could take a jump. You brought in Dalton Schultz. There are some players on this Texans team now. But let's go ahead and break down the roster. So if you're new here to the channel, these offseason rebuilds basically function as, now that we have all of the offseason moves onto one roster, we just pretend that 2022, because you have to load in the roster at the start, we pretend that's 2023. But this is the team. I'm going to have to change development traits and contracts of these rookies. So let me do that before I talk about anything. I'm going to give CJ Stroud superstar, I think, and Will Anderson Jr., I might throw around Superstar X Factor. Now, this is supposed to be Dylan Horton, by the way. I guess both Dylan and Horton are starred out. Oh, okay. Nice, Madden. Nice, EA. Got Dylan to work. And I can do Horton with no first H. So, we all know who that is. Can't actually do his name because Hor, I guess, is so terrible that even incorrectly spelled is too crazy for a player's name to actually be. Ever heard of Horton Here's a Who? Isn't that ironic? Never heard of him. So this is the team. As I mentioned, going to give CJ Stroud superstar dev. It's a little bit fun to kind of juice these rookies a little bit. He's only a 77 overall, but is good. Now, I know this face scan is not perfect for CJ Stroud, but this is what he's looking like. Very, very accurate quarterback. Could do a little bit better under pressure and as a playmaker, as an extender, as an improviser. Tank Dell, I'm giving star dev, second round pick. Could end up being a pretty good player in the slot for them. Obviously brought in Robert Woods as well. The offensive line, like the rookies are kind of like mixed in with the 2022 rookies because we're starting from the start of the 2022 season. We're just using our make-believe pretend hat. But Kenyon Green, he's going to have star. And Will Anderson Jr., as I mentioned, I'm going to give superstar X Factor to. Derek Stingley is CB1. Desmond King is really like our nickel corner. Jalen Petrie is going to start at free safety. The team looks pretty good. Henry To'oTo'o, I think I'm going to leave his normal dev. Dylan Horton, I'm going to leave his normal. There's some other players in the mix too, but you know, we've pretty much covered the main rookies. Kind of have a weird edge rotation right now. Jerry Hughes is, I was going to say 35. He's only 34, my mistake. And I did just kind of do a Texans rebuild not too long ago, but of course now we have the actual rookies. So Dalton Schultz, I think we saw how he developed. I'm going to go with a little bit of a different approach this time around. I still think a guy like Jerry Hughes cannot start. If we're going to focus on the development of the younger players, you know, it's going to be Will Anderson Jr. and Jonathan Grenard off the edge. I don't know what Chase Winovich is going to do, but it's not going to be a whole lot. My linebackers, we can keep Perryman. I might start To'oTo'o. I should clarify, it's more like To'oTo'o. I mispronounced that the first time around. I pride myself on pronunciation of these names. It's more To'oTo'o, but it's one of those more difficult names to pronounce. Just kind of forgot for a moment, but I think it's so much of hearing like Gary Danielson pronounce it as To'oTo'o, even though it's To'oTo'o, that has been ingrained in my brain incorrectly, but I'll take responsibility. Corey Littleton, I think I'm just going to release. It's pretty much a moot point in terms of his penalty versus what we free up. I don't really care. I'd rather get somebody younger in there like Christian Harris, who was a pretty good prospect last year. And then that way, I mean, Christian Kirksey I can probably let go as well. But Blake Cashman can play a little bit more. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and release him. I know team captain, maybe it's great in real life. I just know he's not going to factor in this rebuild, so there's not really a point to keep him around. But the rest I'll probably keep. Yeah, To'o probably going to be behind Cashman, to be honest. Things could change, but I'll keep it that way for now. We have trade offers for Devin Singletary. I'm just going to ignore those. Dameon Pierce, of course, is our main halfback, but Singletary might be a nice change of pace guy. We don't necessarily have to get rid of him. And then for these, as I've mentioned, I'm doing auto-generated. Just a little bit too far out to know exactly who's going to be there in 2024. Like, yeah, you can expect Caleb Williams, Drake May, Marvin Harrison Jr., probably Olu Fashanu, Joe Alt. You know, some of the guys that you'd expect to be at the top of the list, but things are going to vary a lot from May 9th as I record this to April 28th or whenever the draft is next year. So just going to do auto-generated. A little bit more fun, in my opinion, anyway. Mike Evans, the A&M receiver. Still in Texas, except now he's 5'10", and a cornerback. Now, the nice thing is going to be we don't really have to worry about QB. Edge, I would still consider if the player's good enough, but I think that corner, the fact that he's projected to go number 1 overall, could be quite good. And before I do anything else, before I forget, because I think I did, I have to trade our first-round pick next year, which is this year, really, to the respective teams. So we're going to hold on to the Browns, and we're going to trade what is ours, number 3 here, to the Cardinals. They also are sending a 2024 third back to the Cardinals. So I'm just going to, again, we're pretending 2023 is 2024. So send these over to Arizona. I'll take their 7th round pick next year. It doesn't really matter. And then I have to give the Browns their 1st round pick back because they don't have one in 2025 via the Texans, or vice versa, excuse me. And I'll do the same swap. I'll just get a 7th round pick. It really shouldn't factor in too much. Ooh, we hire Mario Williams as a scout, by the way. Texans number 1 overall pick in 2005, I think it was, where he went to Buffalo. Did Mario Williams end his career with the Colts? I don't think so, but maybe. Yeah, it was Miami. But it's been, 6 years in Houston. I think a lot of people think he was like a bust, which couldn't be further from the truth. Same kind of way that people think Clowney was a bust. Like, no, he just wasn't ever the best player in the league. Did he not live up to his extraordinarily large expectations? Yeah, that's probably true. But he was a really solid player. Was an all-pro for a year with the Texans as well. Definitely not a bust. Just not, a Hall of Famer like you'd obviously want with the number 1 overall pick. But how many are? Very, very, very few. People really just throw out the term bust way too loosely. 3-3 at the midseason mark's not so bad. It's just the Colts are 5-2. The Jags are 5-2. Titans really struggling, though. Who are our free agents? I don't think anyone especially good. Desmond King, Blake Cashman. It's not really too bad. Desmond King, I think a 3-year extension makes sense for both parties. I'll try to take the money down a little bit, but he thinks he can find a better offer in free agency. It's always so stupid. The re-sign interest is all the way, and then you just offer them kind of the default contract for their overall and age and all that, and they decline it. Like, what's the point of you being super interested if I can't bring you back for cheap? I don't know. Yeah, Mike Evans is going to be the pick if I can get into position. A-man coverage is just exceedingly rare to see, and then B-zone coverage is pretty good too. Great to elite speed. This is, I'm not going to say a generational corner in the draft because that's very, very, very rare, but definitely one of the super high-tier generated players for sure. He's going to be probably at least a 78 overall, which means, in these draft classes, you got a really good chance of that being the highest overall player. So probably going to move up and get him if we have to. But we get the Browns' 1st round pick, so, it's not contingent on us playing well. And then Trent Thomas down the board, 6'4", 200 with good coverage. I might take multiple corners in this draft. We won 10 games just like the Jags, yet they're in the playoffs, and we are not. A little bit unlucky not to make the playoffs, really, as CJ Stroud has led the league in passing yards. Shout out to Bucks Playbook. His numbers are not great. I know 5,400 yards, 35 touchdowns to 27 interceptions is alarming. That's a lot of turnovers. Very many. But you know what? He's young. He's developing. Peyton Manning threw maybe even more than that his rookie year. Dameon Pierce got plenty of touches, really. Didn't do a whole lot with them, but did have 15 touchdowns, so good in short yardage situations, maybe. Receiving, Robert Woods, 1,400 plus yards, 4 touchdowns. Noah Brown was great. Tank Dell was over 1,100 yards, as was Dalton Schultz. And then nobody else was over 172. John Mechie. So it was really just these 4 guys with a ton of production and then a massive, massive drop-off. Defensively, Will Anderson Jr. had a nice rookie year. 19 tackles for loss, 14 and a half sacks. Bernard kind of in that same realm of TFLs. Sacks not near as high. Same deal for Sheldon Rankins and Malik Collins. Interceptions, 4 for King, 3 for Christian Harris. Stingley had 2. Petrie with 1. Now, Stroud did lead the league in passing yards. I wonder if as a result, he gets X Factor, even with the interceptions. That'll be unique to check out, as Jordan Love and the Packers made it to the Super Bowl, unfortunately fell victim of what many teams do, which is losing to the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes wins Super Bowl MVP and league MVP. Nothing really of note for us in the yearly awards. Jack Mason up to Superstar Dev, by the way. Won Offensive Lineman of the Year. He sure did. So, good for Shaq Mason. He's a decent player. Would have been nice to see Juice Scruggs go up. Didn't end up happening. Schultz to star. Stroud keeps Superstar Dev. Noah Brown didn't get upgraded. Neither did Tank Dell. Robert Woods, I think, is up to star from normal. And then defensively, Desmond King to Superstar. Stingley stays the same. I think Perryman and Harris actually went up as well. I was going to say nothing else changed, but the linebackers for sure improved. Then Will Anderson Jr. is going to be up to at least an 85 overall right now. I'm going to upgrade Run Stopper, though, just because I know the CPU is not going to touch that when they upgrade him. +1 speed, +2 block shed is a great upgrade. He'll stay at an 85 overall. Finesse moves into the 90s. I know he's playing up to an 87 right now, but that's going to go down by the time the season starts. But I think we got a lot of momentum heading into the offseason for a team that didn't make the playoffs. Kind of feels similar to those Detroit Lions in that way, based on the 2022 season. So we're in a good spot right now. 10 wins is an awesome first year. I think you can see the Texans kind of at the top of that in 2023. I don't expect it to be that high, but that I think is their ceiling if everything goes right. So everything kind of went right for us here. So it's not super unreasonable, I suppose. Although I would be surprised if they were to hit that, but you never know. I mean, that's why they play the games. And with their schedule, there's a path to it, I think, for sure. King, I'm going to change my offer. I want it to be a 2-year deal. Now, he's going to re-sign. It's more money than I would want, but we have the money. And I'm probably just going to let Blake Cashman go. We'll start To'o at outside linebacker if we have to. If there's a better option in free agency, we might go that direction. But I would expect to just start him or draft a linebacker. That's always an option. Not going to be a whole lot I'm interested in free agency. So I think we'll probably just hold on to our money here. Dalton Reisner, maybe, or a kicker. I don't know what our current situation looks like. I just don't remember. Is Kaimi Fairbairn still the kicker on this team? It's possible, I guess. He is. We're fine. We're fine with them. And Cameron Johnston, too, whom I know not there, but at times looks a lot like Bill Burr. Not necessarily in that picture, though. Now, I didn't see where the Browns finished. That's going to be big for us. Mike Evans has dropped a spot, but I'm going to tell you there's no reason for it. There might be a disgusting quarterback out of Harvard. All A's, and he's smart, probably, but we don't need a quarterback. Mike Evans, there's no point on using as a focus player. I need to learn about some of these other guys that we might be considering down the board a little bit. And the fact that Eli Drew, round 3 or 4 projection here, is a run stopper, but has A finesse moves, he's got to be drafted down the board probably. And then I want to look at this day 3 tight end. He's got A catch in traffic, maybe some other things. I didn't see if he was a good athlete or not, but we are probably going to be trading up. I'm assuming the Browns don't have the number 1 overall pick, and in order to get that corner, I'm probably going to have to move up to number 1 or maybe number 2. So where are we picking here? Number 7. We actually don't have to go up very high at all. I'm probably going to move up to 2. Let's see if the Bears want to make a move. Eagles at 1 do go with the tackle Daniel Clancy. And it really shouldn't be all that difficult to move up from 7 to 2 here. The short way, we still have number 48, which I want to hold on to. And the Bears are looking for a QB. Probably can't give them CJ Stroud or a center. Now, they could use a defensive tackle, and I might be looking to draft one of those. So I would look to add Malik Collins, who I just don't particularly want, plus like a fourth. Does that entice you to move down? It does. So we shed Malik Collins here. Number 7 for number 2. We give them number 112 as well. And I think Mike Evans is going to be the best player in the draft. Now, the quarterback could give him a good run for his money, but Mike Evans, 5'10", has elite speed, ran 4.29 at his pro day, but it's going to be probably at least a 96 based on it saying elite and elite agility. Great acceleration, great strength. A-man, B-tackle, B-zone. The press is probably going to be pretty good. I just think he's going to be the best player in the entire draft. Only 5'10", 22 years old. It's not so bad. He's going to be a beast for us. Welcome to Houston. 96 speed, 93 acceleration. Agility's 96. Change of direction, 89. Jumping's at an 86. He's going to be a lockdown corner. We have Derek Stingley, Mike Evans on the outside. It's funny saying that name. And then Desmond King in the nickel, or maybe even Mike Evans playing slot corner for us. That is an option, but that's going to be one of the best, if not the best players in the entire draft. And the Patriots might actually look to go QB here. They don't. That quarterback looks unbelievable. Who gets him? Commanders, maybe? Going to Landover, Maryland. Now, Sam Spitzer does have great speed here, so they say, and elite strength. I think he's going to be one of these really good run blocking, inline tight ends. Elite strength, I love to see. He can really catch the ball. Not a route runner. That's not his game. But he's a really good second tight end option. So down the board, I like that. I'm probably going to pass on receiver here. I want Eli Drew and I want Trent Thomas. Thomas is going to be our second round pick if I can. I might move up to secure that. And then Drew has to be my third round pick. But again, I might move up a little bit just to make sure we can make that happen. Like number 16, it's not like it's super low, but it's a little bit too close to cut it. I'd probably want to move up a little bit with both of these. Do like a pick swap, and maybe I'll add in like a future 4 to get it done. Maybe even a future 3 if I have to. All right, so it's number 48 and 71 this year, a 4th next year. I'm getting 38 and 70. So moving up 10 spots in the second round and 1 spot in the third round. We gave up a 4th round pick to make it happen. I think that's going to be a little bit better for us. Now, in the third round, I might look to move up just to secure that interior defensive lineman. Not sure that I'll have to, but it just might be smart to do so. So this receiver's still on the board. Interesting prospect, not much of a route runner. A, catching traffic, A, catching. Decent athlete. I mean, the speed only says good, but he did run quite well with elite strength. You almost wonder if he could be potentially a tight end, 6'3", 222, maybe like that H-back type player. But I think we should pass on receiver and just draft someone I feel really good about, maybe even playing safety for us. 6'4", 199, 22 years old at a Tulane. Ran pretty well for his size, but I feel better about the coverages. B-man, B-press. C-zone's pretty good. Do I take the receiver instead? Now I'm second-guessing myself. Like, receiver is a position of need for us. No question about it. It's just, unless we're drafting a superstar, is it worth it here? Because on defense, we have Stingley, we have the guy we drafted, we have King, and then Steven Nelson is short-term. Jimmy Ward's good now. But I'm thinking that getting a 4th corner is going to be valuable. But is the receiver going to be better? Because Woods is not really a long-term option. Tank Dell we like. Noah Brown, is he like, what, 27 probably? 27, 76 overall. I was going to say years old. That would be great if he was 76 years old. What a long career that would be. I don't know for certain. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I would guess that's probably at least near one of the longest careers, playing until 76. Robert Woods here, 31 years old. Maybe I should draft receiver. I think the corner is going to be really good. If he was a better athlete, I might be all in. He's just an okay athlete. And this receiver almost surely is going to be normal development because I'm drafting him. But We're going to do it. A catching traffic. He's a real good athlete. Speed only says good, but I mean, he ran in the 4.3s at his pro day. So it's got to be pretty high. Like at least 91, you'd think. With elite strength. Let's do it. Normal dev. I knew it was going to be. Said it out loud. 92 speed, 92 change of direction. It's pretty awesome for someone that's 6'3", 222. Hopefully we can force him the ball and get his dev trade up. Because then, you know, maybe we have something. Interesting. The corner has made it to round 3. We're about to get fancy. Trent Thomas is the pick. Does have hidden development. 90 speed, 91 acceleration, 85 agility, 91 change of direction. Because he's a 6'4 corner, I would have bet pretty much anything on him having hidden development. He's just one of those, like, generators that we've seen in the draft. I keep saying generators, but that's how they do this. They have tier generators and certain archetypes, and he's just the big 6'4" corner. Every time I've drafted them, I've seen hidden development. So we knew that was the case. We took a shot on the receiver. Maybe it's going to work out. Maybe not. Doesn't look great right now. But Trent Thomas stayed on the board, and we were able to grab him in the 3rd round. And now where is this interior defensive lineman? Ooh. Not for maybe 29 picks. I'm not going to wait that long, though. Let's see if I can trade up with Miami. It's worth it to me to trade a 3rd round next year. So it's a 3 and 2 7s for this 3rd round pick at number 12 here in the 3rd round. And I'm guessing the interior defensive lineman's still going to be on the board. I'd be surprised if he were drafted in that span. 6'1", 300, run stopper archetype. Why didn't I do, you know, the focus player on him to know what his block shedding is? Well, we know it's going to be good because he's run stopper archetype. So it's probably at least a C. Probably a B, though. A finesse moves, A tackle, has elite speed, which I didn't even notice. This is the pick. Hidden development, 78 speed, 88 strength, 81 acceleration, 80 jumping. Eli Drew, A tackle as well. He's going to be really, really good for us. That's a great value pickup. Wow, the tight end's off the board in the 5th round. I kept the 5th for a reason. I would have traded it otherwise. That's a little bit frustrating. I was actually kind of excited to draft a backup tight end. Unfortunately, gonna have to go a different direction. Receiving back who's a good athlete with A catching. Sign me up. Good value in the 3rd round. Decent enough athlete. Who knows if he's even going to make the team. I think we did really well here. Draft recap says that we got an 83 overall corner. That actually might be, you know, on the generational line. It might be also just a very high tier generator. 77 hit power is phenomenal, by the way. He's just a monster nickel corner. 83 press, though, seems like it'd be a waste to play him inside. 81 man, 77 zone. Obviously a really, really good athlete. Very, very good player. Obviously worth the move up. Not sure if he's going to be superstar X Factor. If he was like an 85, I'd be like guaranteed. But 83, yeah, still very, very, very good. But I'm not positive. 4 set is a 74 overall, which is good for round 2. Just his dev trait's a little bit disappointing. Not the best route runner. I wonder if he's just not a slightly more athletic Nico Collins, which is like fine to have. Trent Thomas is a 73, so is the lower overall of the two, but does have hidden dev. Coverage is whatever, but press is pretty good. Eli Drew is a 72. Run stopper is 72. Speed rush 71 overall. Block shedding is in a good spot. Finesse moves is in a great spot. He's going to be a starter right away. Swim move, spin move, and high motor traits. Yeah, he's a stud. And then Trey Michaels is a 68. Kind of who cares about that, but that's not terrible down the board. And we, of course, got the highest overall player in the draft at 83 overall. Next highest was a 77 with the number 1 pick. Only 77, and then 76s. Saints got 2 of them. Round 5 and round 2. 2 guards. Very interesting. But we didn't do too bad. I think we did quite well. Now, the quarterback is only a 75. I would have guessed probably a 77 on him. 75 is good. Yeah, he looks really solid. Desmond King can play in the slot. That's fine. I want Bernard to be an edge rusher over Chase Winovich. And then I'm fine with keeping the sub linebacker the way it is. MJ Stewart's not going to play. Tank Dell, I think I will play in the slot again. Singletary, third down back. Damian Pierce is power. We just got to move in that drafted defensive tackle to be a rush D tackle, which obviously he should be already. Pretty successful so far, 4-2 atop the AFC South. Titans right there. I mean, Jags and Colts close too. A lot of money, and it's because we have at least one very big free agent in Laramie Tunsil. Steven Nelson in there. I could probably just trade him now, to be honest. Noah Brown we won't need. Titus Howard we probably do need to hold on to. Fairbairn, yes. Grenard, yes. We don't need everybody, but we certainly need... And we still could draft somebody over Grenard. I'm going to pay him, though. He's back for 2 years. Tunsil really wants to be here. We're going to give him a 5-year contract. Welcome back. And it's not like he's unbelievable, but he's a starting level right tackle in the league. We're going to bring back Titus Howard. I'm just not overwhelmed with either Steven Nelson or Noah Brown. I don't know how they factor into our long-term plans. I think Steven Nelson, if I can get like a 3rd-round pick back for him, I'd be pretty happy with that. Steven Nelson's going to Baltimore. We get a 3rd-round pick back, which is what we didn't have this year because of the trade-up last year. So I'm pretty happy about that, as I said I would be. Hopefully we can beat the Falcons and improve to 5 wins on the season. The depth chart I thought was going to be reordered. I'm going to be hesitant of that, but Thomas is going to now feature in a little bit more. So that's nice. I don't know why it is giving me the wrong Thomas. I want this Thomas. It's not letting me drag Trent Thomas into being CB4. Why is that? All right, I'll do it the reverse way. All right, perfect. So we have 4 good corners. One of them is obviously more like a hybrid safety, nickel corner in the case of Desmond King. Got 2 really good outside guys, even though one's only 5'10". You could be a good outside corner at 5'10". It's all about arm length at corner. That's why like a Jair Alexander who's 5'10" is a really, really good corner because he doesn't really have short arms despite being shorter. And obviously like really good feet too, really quick. God dang, there's another disgusting corner in the draft. He's a man-to-man archetype with A zone coverage. 6'2". I might have to draft another corner. I just have to take the best player available. How could I pass on some of these players? Also, a defensive tackle with A finesse moves who's a power rush type. And he's an unbelievable athlete. How am I going to approach this draft? I have no idea. There are a bunch of really, really good players. Chris Chason's a number 1 guy. Don't really have any interest in him. Although, you know what? A medium route running, B short, deep route running still could be good. Man, this draft class is going to make me make some decisions. I'd love to be able to get in position for both the corner and the defensive tackle. Because Freddie Thomas is going to be a stud. I mean, I am sure of that. No question. How do I get both? That's going to be the difficult thing. Because right now we're supposed to pick at the 24th pick. It's too low. And next year is not a ton better. But this is the year to go for broke. Sending Robert Woods to the Commanders. He's just not a part of my future plans, really. A 2nd and a 5th for a 1st-round pick. Now, it really is just a slight trade up in the 2nd round to get that 1st-round pick. I'm considering moving a whole lot more because I think there are 2 bona fide superstars at the top of the draft, and I really don't want to miss out on those. We know we're going to be getting an interior defensive lineman. I don't want to trade Sheldon Rankins now, though, because we're competing. That's the problem. We are trading number 24 projected, taking a bit of a gamble, Tavir Thomas, and a 5th to move up to projected number 20 from the Raiders. That's just a bet that we're going to be better than the Raiders this year. Now, it might not pay off. You can certainly see that. But we're going to take that risk. Now, if we end up missing the playoffs, this gamble is going to prove to be a terrible bet. But you roll the dice sometimes, you come out on top, sometimes you don't. Hopefully we do. I'm hoping for 11 wins. And you know what? We didn't win 11 games, but we won 10. And this time, we won the division. 4 teams in the AFC South, all of them had at least 9 wins. Kind of crazy, but good from us. We made the playoffs. CJ Stroud, tell me you got the turnovers down. Nope. Still a ton of production. Still a ton of interceptions. Very similar season to his rookie year. Rushing, Damian Pierce was about the same, maybe slightly worse. Nick Forsett, though, What a rookie year. That might be looking at star dev. There's a chance. There is a chance on that. Already at a 78 overall. And that is a ton of production. 115 catches, 1,400 yards, 9 TDs. Tank Dell, 108 catches, over 1,300 yards, 5 touchdowns. Yeah, big time production. We're missing a big chunk because of Robert Woods, because we traded him midseason. But still, very good for the most part. Not Damian Pierce, Denzel Perryman, 144 tackles, 6 for loss, 2.5 sacks. I couldn't get over seeing Will Anderson, though. 18 tackles for loss, 19.5 sacks. It's like his Alabama numbers. This is unreal. 17 TFLs for Eli Drew. Great rookie year, 4.5 sacks. Of course, Georgia defensive lineman. Go figure. Bernard, 16 tackles for loss, double-digit sacks. That's amazing. Rankins put up 7 sacks. I just worry about his regression. That's why I'm putting myself into a position for an interior defensive lineman. 29 years old. He's just a 77 overall, normal dev. It's just not good enough. Mike Evans, by the way, had 4 interceptions, which led the team. I'm guessing he's going to be Superstar X Factor. Let's see. I see it at the top now. Superstar X Factor. So you could make an argument that he is, on kind of the border of generational there. Love to see Superstar X Factor. The thing is, and people ask me this all the time, it's basically impossible, not impossible, but it's hard to know in a lot of cases if the player is generational or not, as +1 speed is huge. We just don't know if they're generational. Just because they have Superstar X Factor does not mean they're generational. Usually the generational guys are either really, really good overall or like incredible in one area, like QBs with 99 speed, that sort of thing, which is really, really rare. But yeah, he's phenomenal. It doesn't really matter if he's generational or not. He's unreal. So wild card game is going to be against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They went 12-7. An upgrade for Nico Collins, who really hasn't featured a ton in this rebuild, to be honest. I think he's going to be a more impactful player in real life. Just in game, it's tough with him just because he's got normal development, which, as you guys know, can be tough a lot of the time. And when he's only a 75 overall, yet it costs him about 9,000 XP to get to that next level to improve by 1, what do you really have to do to become a star level player? It's very, very, very difficult to accomplish that. So he's just somebody that unfortunately has been buried on the depth chart a little bit. We drafted receivers, we've brought some different guys in, and he's just someone who kind of got phased out a little bit. As we move on here in the playoffs, improving to our 11th total win on the year. So, we got to 11 wins in the end anyway, even if one is in the playoffs. 10-7 Denver Broncos. We do have the overall advantage. However, our team's not that good right now. Like, we're developing still. We're still in that kind of early development phase where CJ Stroud has a little bit of a ways to go. We're developing Forsett and Tank Dell. And Noah Brown exists, which, honestly, I should be playing Nico Collins over Noah Brown, probably. Then we have John Mechie as well, so I don't know how we get everybody involved. And then defensively, I think we just have to stay the course, to be honest. Our corners are great. I think our secondary is complete. It's just about kind of solidifying the front 7, really. And Toa we could potentially upgrade. We're looking to draft that interior defensive lineman. We do need another really talented edge. I'm not sure that Jonathan Grenard is going to get it done for us. But, all that said, I'm pretty much setting ourselves up for, if we lose in the playoffs here, it doesn't really matter because we're not supposed to be there yet anyway. Right? Still a little bit early. It's 2023, which is really 2024. So we're heading into this, what would really be the 2025 season as the Browns and Cowboys are facing off in the Super Bowl. We're heading into I would say, the true start of our Super Bowl window. Will Anderson Jr. is going to be upgraded. He's very close to another upgrade point as well. And he actually has another one still. So he's going to be upgraded a huge amount here, +3 block shed. And I know I'm not doing finesse move too much, but it's already so high. His block shed and finesse moves are both playing up to the mid to high 90s. We're in a really, really good spot. It's almost a wonder his overall isn't even higher. I think maybe acceleration holding it down a little bit. but pretty much everything is insane with him. He is an incredible player and developing really, really nicely for this Houston Texans team. Mike Evans, you know, we talked about maybe being a borderline generational player. Would like for his zone coverage to be higher, but his speed is up to a 97. That got a little bit of a boost. And zone here, give me +2 or 3, at least. Take +2. It's not the worst. Gets that into the 80s. Becoming a more well-rounded corner. Press is already good. Like, we now have the pieces in place. We just need to continue to develop these guys just a little bit more. Nick Forsett, going to be very close to an 80 overall. Some nice boosts in there. And he has superstar development all of a sudden. Progression history says Offensive Rookie of the Year plus Superstar Dev. And he already had plus Star Dev, I guess, because of his good season. So just like that, you know, we took a second-round player that, hey, we weren't even really planning to draft him. And all of a sudden, as a rookie, technically still, he is Superstar Dev. And now that draft pick looks a whole lot better. That's what you can do with the quarterbacks and receivers in this game, is force them targets and develop them at a really, really quick rate. Noah Brown, we're going to let go. I'll probably just let Fairbairn and Johnston walk, because we can find a replacement or bring them back in free agency. So I'm not really super concerned about that. We got a lot of money in free agency here. That's the, you know, kind of the beauty. Even though you do draft them high, that's the beauty of having a young quarterback on a rookie deal, is they are fairly cheap. And when we look at this actual team, I could look to improve the offensive line, even after extending Titus Howard, even with Juice Scruggs. Dalton Schultz up to Superstar Dev, by the way, as well. So maybe an offensive upgrade. Receiver, I could still see being something we sign. And then defensively, Thomas ends up having Star Dev. I think that was pretty much expected. Grenard is up to Star Dev. Drew a star. I think we're going to draft an interior defensive lineman. Was there another corner I was looking to draft? I want to say there was a sick corner also, where it's like, why would we draft them? But we could potentially do like a little draft and trade, and it would just be better for us long term. So probably avoid corner in free agency, and we could move somebody back to safety as well. But I think the interior defensive lineman is a must. Freddie Thomas from Washington. I think that's a no-brainer. And then, yeah, Thomas Russell. It's 6'2", 200 pounds with man-to-man archetype, with a zone coverage. He's going to be unbelievable. And he's a good athlete. Like, do I want the best player in the draft? If so, I probably should take Thomas Russell. And in that scenario, I think it could certainly be wise to trade a defensive back on my team for somebody that can help us win, you know, maybe off the edge. And I will say, if you're a good athlete, Richard Dalton, I am intrigued. 6'5", 257, only 21 years old. B block shed, A pursuit, B tackle. Zone coverage, who cares? He's a pass rusher. Physically, he's a decent athlete. And finesse and power moves we don't really know about. But that's an intriguing player. Not as good of an athlete as I would usually like, but definitely could be very good still. Also, this safety looks very good. A man, B tackle, B zone. Really, really good athlete. Man, see, I feel like we always need DBs, and the DBs in the draft aren't very good, especially at safety. And in this rebuild, I don't really know that we need defensive back. And the class for DBs has pretty much been incredible. So I know it's like, why would you take a corner? You don't need one. And Dylan Kennedy, what are you? Ran 4.6 at 6'6", 280. Went to Texas, hook 'em horns. A power moves. I want like 12 different players in the first round. Look at this corner down the board as well. C-man, B press, B zone, 6'2", 21 years old. Not a great athlete. It does have elite acceleration. Maybe profile's a bit better as a safety for some of those reasons. Probably not going to draft him, especially if we go up for the corner at the top of the board. But it's just so tough for me. I don't have the self-control to see someone that is just probably the best player in the draft and not draft them. I don't know if you guys have similar impulses, but man, it's so tough to see what is nearly guaranteed to be close to an 80 or higher and just go, I'll pass. Herbert's here. TJ Hawkinson's actually interesting. Antoine Winfield, not that we need him. Jerry Jeudy interests me. And I don't know if this makes any sense to you guys, just kind of feels like a Texan. Montez Sweat is here. That's also intriguing. But we're going to offer Jerry Jeudy a contract here. We have more than enough money. We're going to offer him a big-time deal. Hopefully get Jerry Jeudy to Houston. And I think we'll probably just avoid the rest of free agency. Devin White could be good. That might be smart. Montez Sweat would be smart as well. Nobody's offering Devin White, though. So I think we're going to be able to get him for a value. And let's offer him a contract. And I think we're nearly guaranteed to get Devin White now. And I think we stand a pretty good chance to land Jerry Jeudy. We'll come out. We'll get Tyler Bass here in free agency. We have the money. We can offer these guys. Tommy Townsend as well we'll bring in. And we're getting a lot of Florida guys here. Devin White, I think, is from Louisiana. I know he went to LSU. But is he from Florida? He might be. Jerry Judy's definitely from Florida. Yeah, Devin White's from Louisiana. Yeah, I caught myself there. I thought we were signing another one, but I think Townsend at least went to Florida. Judy's from Florida. So I thought we were getting 3. I guess it's not that crazy to only get 2. We got all 4. So 2 specialists, kicker, punter, and then starting receiver, probable starting inside linebacker. So Desmond King probably ends up being the one I would trade. 29 years old. Superstar Dev is nice, but he's only an 80 overall. Let's really think about that for a minute. Final year of his deal. That's the guy. So corner, maybe slightly more of a need than originally thought. Jalen Petrie could be a sub linebacker for us, which would be interesting. I know they've had him in that position before. I wonder if he would just slide in there on auto. No, he doesn't. But he's going to stay at safety for us. Jimmy Ward is aging, but is still good. So if we want both the defensive tackle and the corner, we're going to have to do what the Texans did in real life this year and get the 2nd and 3rd pick. Now, currently, I don't see the Texans nearly high enough here. We're at 13 and 19. So we're going to have to move up a little bit. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I have a lot of aspirations in this draft because there are 3 players I really would like to draft. And they're going to go at number 2 and 3. And then who knows where the defensive end is going to go, who I also have a significant interest in, I would say. It would just be such a good fit for our defense to get all these guys. I know Thomas Russell, we don't need another corner, but I've explained my fascination with that. Dylan Kennedy is a round 1 talent, so higher than his projection. And he looks very, very, very good. You know, I'm almost surprised to not see him be top 10. If his play rec was higher, might be a top 10 talent. Matt Hopkins also looks fantastic. This is one where I can say, listen, we probably don't need him. Although, A, man coverage, B, tackle, B, play rec, C, block shed, B, zone coverage. He's 6'1", 224. Moves at 4.4 speed. It's going to be tough to pass on. And then Richard Dalton was one that we looked at him. Not the most insane athlete ever, but not bad. And does have A power moves. He's just probably a good player. Giants going to go QB at number 1. There goes Cameron Taylor. The defensive tackle is the big one. That's who we have to trade up for first. Okay, massive trade. Davis Mills is on the move. Falcons really need a quarterback. It was their number 1 need. And the quarterback's off the board. So Davis Mills is involved, as well as 2 first-round picks. I'm getting back number 2 and number 34. I don't know if I'm going to hold on to number 34 or not. Kind of depends how this goes. But right now we're at number 2. And do we still have 19? We still have 19. Freddie Thomas, though, is the first one out of UW. 6'3", 295, 22 years old. Unbelievably athletic. I mean, elite speed and strength is crazy. So the combo of a 4.71 at his pro day with 42 reps of 225 is nuts. And then A tackle, A finesse moves. Power moves will be an A. A awareness, B play rec, C block shed. He's pretty incredible. And welcome to the Texans. 94 strength, 79 speed, 78 acceleration. He's incredible. And the skills are going to be there as well. Probably mid to high 70s for finesse moves, maybe 75, 76, and then maybe 78, 79 power moves. Could even be higher if he's a generational type. So, pretty incredible. And then, can I try and trade Desmond King? That's the thing. If I can trade Desmond King, we can draft Thomas Russell. If I can't, it's going to be... It's going to have to be the most unfortunate pass. I would be so sad. But the player just looks so good. I can't help myself. They need a quarterback, wide receiver. Corner's not going to be a need for them. It's not really. Don't really need safety either. Please just take Desmond King. He feels like a Patriot. His special teams value is going to be unbelievable. Oh, they have green interest. Okay, we might have something here. Okay, I'm trading a 3rd round pick, Sheldon Rankins, and a 4th for number 45 from the Raiders, which I plan on sending to the Patriots. They were being a little bit difficult with the trade. However, with this now, offering them a high 2nd round pick into the trade as well, I think their interest is going to go up significantly. So, Desmond King, got to go. Number 19 and then number 45 should do it. Now, I tried. Maybe I'll try a 2nd next year before offering that. Yeah, it's just not quite there. Really close, though. But offering number 45 into it should get it done. I'll try to get maybe a 3rd next year, but I don't know if that's going to go through. Probably not. All right, I can't really get anything back. This is the trade. Desmond King, who is... 29, final year of his contract. That's where we're moving him. Number 19 and number 45 for number 3. So obviously we're sending a lot back, but I think we're going to get a really good player here. And then doing exactly pretty much what the Texans did in real life, picking it 2nd and 3rd. And we're going to take UCF's Thomas Russell. Will have A-man coverage. His archetype is man-to-man. Zone coverage is an A. That's how we pretty much know that. He's a really solid athlete. He's going to be incredible. And he's got normal dev. How is that even possible? 93 speed, 92 acceleration, agility, change of direction, quite high, jumping pretty good. I think his overall is going to be at least like a 77 or a 78. I'm shocked to see normal dev. I'm shocked. Now, the last thing is, do I have to move up? And it wouldn't be obviously into the top 10 or anything close. But do I have to move back into the 1st round? We're not going to take the safety, as good as he's going to be. Do I have to move back into the 1st round for Dylan Kennedy? I'm going to say probably better safe than sorry. And I'll find a team like in the mid-20s. It's not going to cost a whole ton to move up. It's going to be 2 2nd-round picks to move up to 22. Kind of a lot, but we just want to be safe and make sure that the player we want is not going to be off the board. So we have moved all the way up. Our draft is essentially over after this. We have a bunch of 7th-round picks, but our draft is over. We are going to take Dylan Kennedy. Matt Hopkins is still on the board, but Kennedy, I think, looks to be a very, very good player. So we don't need another DB, especially not after trading up for the guy at 3. Dylan Kennedy, keeping him in state. Welcome to Houston, all the way over from Austin. It's like 2.5 hours. It's not too bad. Easy commute. 84 strength, 84 speed, and 87 acceleration. Welcome to the team, brother. That safety is going to be really, really good, though. Any other draft, I might be in, but, our team just doesn't need it. Okay, draft recap. I'm so shocked at the normal dev, but I think he's going to be good. Unbelievable. So Dylan Kennedy's a 75. That's real nice. Thomas Russell is a 79 with normal development. So he's the same overall as Desmond King. 93 speed, 80 man, 80 zone. How do you have normal development? I mean, he's clearly going to be an awesome boundary corner or play him in the slot. He's 79 slot, but tackling's just okay. Hit power's pretty good. Block shedding's not great. I don't know. I don't know why he is normal dev. And then Freddie Thomas is a 78. Very good. 78 power rusher, 75 run stop, 75 speed rush. He's got 81 power moves, 76 finesse moves, 94 strength, 71 block shed. Obviously, morale is taking him down a little bit. But really, really good player. I'm so confused as to why the corner has normal dev, but it is what it is. Chris Chason, by the way, very casually, 80 overall. These playmaker types, it's tough to tell how good they're going to be. Was his route running really that good? How is he such a... I mean, I remember looking at him as a prospect. I didn't think his route running was anything crazy. Or his catching, but he's just casually an 80 with really, really good ratings. A little bit surprised by that. I would have guessed maybe a 75 on him. He's an 80. The safety is a 76 overall, by the way. 21 years old. He's got 76 zone coverage, 80 hit power. Man coverage, 77. Just a really good player. I'm interested in checking something, though. So, Thomas Russell is 22 years old. It costs him 9,500 XP to get one level. Now, I'm curious as to where Desmond King is with him being 29 years old, but having superstar dev. It might cost him more to get upgraded, and he's regressing anyway. So I still would make that move again, even knowing that he's normal dev. But it is one of those things where it doesn't look amazing on paper. How much does it cost? It costs 18,800. It's twice as expensive. Okay, I didn't think it'd be twice as expensive. I thought maybe it'd be like 12,000. 18,800. It's crazy. Yeah, we made the right move. We got Derek Stingley +5 zone coverage, by the way, for being a training camp standout. Love that. So I'm really liking the way this team is looking. The only thing is, with the defense, I kind of want to start Dylan Kennedy over Jonathan Grenard. The difference is only 2 overall. Grenard's playing up 3, but it's only 2 overall, and he's 27. Now, I'd lean towards Grenard because he is I think an impact player for them in real life, or at least they're hoping he's going to be that. He's an actual player that plays on the team now, and probably is a starter for them in real life. It's tough to say for sure with the addition of Will Anderson. You have, Jerry Hughes in there. You have a couple guys who could, fight for playing time. So is he technically a starter? Is he only going to be a designated pass rusher? It's tough to say exactly, but I think he's going to be a starter. But Dylan Kennedy, probably a star dev, but he's only 21. And I could really see him being a huge playmaker for us. He's got the craziest looking head-neck combo I've ever seen. But he could be real good. What if I moved Will Anderson Jr. to right end, and then the rookie to left end? Could that be a game changer for us? I'm just really thinking about it. I'm like, where's Dylan Kennedy going to be at the end of the season? Maybe an 80 overall. Where's Grenard going to be at the end of the season? Maybe an 80 overall also. And one's 21. The other one is very not 21. So, I don't know. It's a tough call. I'm not going to lie. We got Mike Evans returning punts as well. Kind of sick for a corner, although you don't see it happen a ton with the more established guys. Can't really see what his ratings are as a return man here. He's got 97 speed. Let's dive in the back end, see what his return numbers are looking like. So there is a kick return stat, but I'm more interested in like agility, which is a 96, carrying 59, ball carrier vision 84. Spin and juke are just okay. What's his kick return rating? It is a 92. All right, interesting. Now, the computer agrees. Dylan Kennedy is the starter here by default. What we could do is kind of just like, I don't want to say platoon them, but that's a kind of a more of a baseball term. But we could start Grenard at right end and then have Kennedy be a rotational rush end as a rookie. And then once we see his development trait, maybe we can make a different decision. But team looks pretty good. I think we're going to keep Tank Dell in the slot still and see how things go. Devin White's on the team now. I think we had a pretty good draft in general. Jerry Jeudy is a huge addition to this offense. Let's have a big season. You know what's funny? Is I simulated one game to try and continue the breakout of Derek Stingley because you got to, get the next challenge of the next week in the activities tab or whatever. We started out at 0-1, and I go, all right, this is going to be a disappointing season. We are 5-1 now. Number 1 defense, top 10 offense. Love to see it. And we do have some big free agents. Not really a ton, though. Denzel Perryman, who we were kind of working to replace. That's why we get Devin White. Jimmy Ward, who's 33, but we have We got a good group in the secondary. It's not huge that we need to re-sign him, but we're probably going to. Dalton Schultz, we're going to do, I think we're going to give him a 4-year deal. Oh, what do you mean it's not a fit for you? The re-sign interest is like not all the way there, but clearly very interested. I bet Shaq Mason would sign back. He wants to win championships. Do we hold off on the extension? Because if we win a Super Bowl this year, that could go to yellow. And even if we can't re-sign him, that's like an easy franchise tag. So go ahead and wait on that. Devin Singletary, he wants to start, and I don't want to start him. So that's going to be a tough thing to overcome. 2-year deal for Jimmy Ward. He's also a definite franchise tag candidate. He's 33 years old. I don't really want to give a long-term deal to him. A 1-year deal for Perryman, I think, is what I would prefer the most. 8 mil. Perryman's back for at least another year. No way there's another corner at the top, dude. I'm not drafting another corner. Like, we're not going to be crazy. A 5'9 corner is projected to go number 1. Any corner projected to go number 1 is kind of crazy, but that is especially wild. Martin Chambers looks very good. 6'5", 300. Are you a good athlete? Maybe. We don't really need him. We're to the point where, you know, we can't really get a whole lot of value back in the draft just because we're so talented and deep on the roster as well. So we're in a really, really good spot. I'm not going to say there's nobody. Like, Rashard Bryant is an interesting edge rusher, but I feel like we're pretty good on the edge. Although another Texas Longhorn could be a good fit. Keith Womack, speed rush type at 6'2", 251. Will Anderson clone? I think Anderson might be 6'3", officially. There seem to be some, you know, decent linebackers here. If these guys are good athletes, and a Wisconsin dude, he can, of course, play the position. I think we're probably not going to do a whole lot in the draft. We don't have a first-round pick. I'm not even sure we have a second-round pick. We definitely have at least a third, though. Gil Schmidt, by the way, not the best athlete, but a good thrower of the football. Very close to finding out Freddie Thomas's development. I'm hoping a Superstar X Factor. I kind of got disappointed when I pulled him up and I didn't see the Superstar X Factor emblem next to his overall, but we don't know it yet. But we will know if it's Superstar if he goes up to an 80 here, because we're going to see a plus, like, attribute spot, which we didn't get. Oh, but he's still only a 79. So there is still hope for Superstar. We've actually improved to 6-1. We're going to at least find out the development trait of the defensive tackle right now. And probably will still be very far in the defensive end. It's only star. That's a little bit disappointing, but it's not the worst. Oh, and they're both 78 now. I think I'm going to make Dylan Kennedy the starter. He's still playing a lot of snaps, but he's got to play even more than Grenard at this point. I mean, just has to. 14-3. Number 5 scoring offense, number 1 scoring defense. That is exactly what I want to see. Well, actually, I prefer number 1 scoring offense, but number 5 will do. CJ Stroud, big year. His best so far, 5,400 yards, nearly 38 touchdowns to 13 picks. Dameon Pierce is so close to approaching that 4 yards per carry number. Over 1,000 yards, 18 touchdowns, still a huge season. Jerry Jeudy was quite the addition to our offense. 1,400 yards, 6 touchdowns. Tank Dell, nearly 100 catches, nearly 1,300 yards, and 11 touchdowns. Nick Forsett goes fully into the 10, 100, 1,000 club. Amazing season for him. Dalton Schultz was quite a good contributor as a 4th option as well. And then defensively, oh my goodness. Will Anderson Jr., 24 tackles for loss, a record-breaking 27 sacks. Unreal. 7.5 for the rookie Freddie Thomas, 6.5 for Dylan Kennedy, 6 for Eli Drew, who you may remember. Didn't really get... Did we have 1 sack for Grenard? He barely played, it looks like, in the end. Interceptions, 5 for White and Evans. 2 bucks, even though, you know, Mike Evans is not quite. But we're going to count it. The rookie Thomas Russell had a pair as well. So CJ Stroud's going to go up to... I don't know. We're just going to upgrade improviser instead of focusing on the overall. And that's kind of like the one area of his game that needs a ton of improvement is the improvisation ability. But he looks Very, very good for the most part. Playing up to a 90 overall. That's going to be really nice for our playoff run. And with our first round bye, we don't have to worry about anything here in the wild card. And our first matchup will be the divisional. We might be playing a division rival here. Either Titans or Colts both won 10 games. Colts may have made the playoffs. Titans certainly did because we're playing them here in the divisional. 10-7 and hopefully not going to end our season. We're just going to simulate the week. If the Titans send us home, I'm going to be devastated. I'm not going to lie to you. But we should beat them, and we don't. We are headed to another offseason. Yay. Come on, dude. How does that happen? Will Anderson Jr. with 2 skill points again here. It's still only 9,000 points to upgrade him, and he's dominating. Sacks leader, defensive lineman of the year, defensive player of the year. He should have some type of upgrade, as he had 2 sacks in the wild card game, by the way, as well. He should have something for breaking the sack record, made his 3rd Pro Bowl. Will Anderson Jr. is dominating. Where is the sack record? Because that should be a thing in there somewhere. 20 sacks in a season. Pretty insane. What is holding his overall down from being a 99? Is it just like acceleration? Block shedding's crazy. Tackle, pursuit, power, finesse moves, all wild. I don't know. He should be like a 99 overall, I would think. We're going to upgrade power rusher, make him a more dynamic player. He's already so good. He's going to be a 99 next year, you know, more than likely. Power rusher's up to a 91. Power moves for him, 88. Yeah, he's pretty good. And then Mike Evans. We're just going to go zone here. I do it all the time. Make the player more well-rounded. So that way, you know, depending on what coverage we call, he's not a fish out of water. Zone coverage isn't that great for him, but he is a very good player. Superstar X Factor, as we know. He won DB of the year also. So we had a heck of a defense. And with all that, still can't win a playoff game. So one of those things, man. One of those things. We'll get it next year. Chiefs beat the Falcons in the Super Bowl. Will Anderson Jr., of course, Defensive Player of the Year. Freddie Thomas, Defensive Rookie of the Year, though. Okay. Should be superstar dev for him. Patrick Mahomes wins Super Bowl MVP. You know, you're paying him, I think his contract is 10 years, $450 million. He better be winning some Super Bowls for you. I'm just hoping that we can win one of those. The Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes notoriously have that huge, I think, division round comeback over the Texans. Hate to bring that one back up. Could have been a wild card game. I thought it was the divisional, though. Ooh, should we bring back Jarrett Stidham? Here's Dalton Schultz. I'll give him a low-risk offer. It's 5 years for a 29-year-old tight end. But that's one of those positions where guys can play into their 30s with no problem, really. Singletary's going to have to go. I want Shaq Mason back. 3-year deal. Want to play for a new team. You can't. I'm sorry. You will be a Texan. That's all right. Jimmy Ward's down to an 80. I think we probably just let him walk and then move somebody back to safety, which is part of the reason you draft positions that seem to be strengths, because you never know. We also re-signed Brevin Jordan. We have plenty of money, though. We're going into free agency with potentially a need in the secondary, although I think we could just move somebody back to safety and be totally fine. Petrie to strong safety, move back one of the corners to free safety. Definitely, I think, a really good option for us. We don't have much in the way of picks because we've drafted so many players, and that's why we have been so good, at least in the regular season. As CJ Stroud is up to Superstar X Factor. We need maybe a tackle. Frank Thomas does have Superstar Dev. Now, Kennedy only had Star. A little bit unfortunate there. And Russell, they're saying, is an 80 overall safety. So that just feels like kind of an obvious move. Maybe Petrie to strong safety like I talked about. Is he going to be a scheme fit there? He's hybrid. Probably run support over there. And his tackling is just not that great. Justin Jefferson's in free agency. Jalen Waddle, who is from Houston, by the way. Do I just build the storyline out? Panay Sewell would fit right in. We have the money. Diamador Lenore has Superstar Dev and wants to be a Houston Texan. All right. I'm targeting Waddle, Sewell, and Lenore. Those would be big gets for us at potential positions of need. We got all three. This is a Super Bowl year. This is it. We're going to have to end up paying CJ Stroud and Will Anderson Jr. pretty soon. So We're going to be a little bit light on funds. I'm going to try and save some of our money. But, I mean, those are massive additions to our team, obviously. We bring Jalen Waddle back home. Get a big upgrade at right tackle in Penei Sewell. Titus Howard can be a swing player. Our receiving core is now perfect. Waddle and Judy, Alabama teammates. Forsett, who we love. And then Tank Dell's a really nice fourth option. Could use another running back, certainly. And then defensively, Devin White's up to superstar dev. Lenore is going to be a nice piece at corner for us. Russell's been moved to free safety. Petrie to strong safety. Linebacker's just okay, but the team's looking really nice. 92 offense, 89 defense. I don't know how that equals 89 overall, but that's what it says. Going into the draft, we're just not really going to be able to draft anybody. Now, there was maybe Nick Peters, who looks pretty good. This running back, Harvey Kendricks, looks very good. A lot of B's in there, and very, very good athlete. Great speed, elite agility. Juke move's an A, spin move is an A. He is going to be very, very, very good. I might move up. I might move up for a running back. And if he is available at like 15, I'll trade my first rounder. I mean, I know that seems crazy. We're all in. We're all in. And I'm locked. I don't know what's happening. There we go. Oh, we win at number 5. Okay, well, he's going to be sick. I promise you. You don't see a juke move, a spin move, that type of speed. He's going to be unbelievable. He might be generational. My prediction, I'm going to set it high. I'm going to say at least an 84. I might be wrong, but that is my prediction. And we have, I mean, there's nothing here. Draft recap, mostly let the CPU handle this one, just to fill out some of the roster holes. We got a 70 overall running back down the board in Greg Miller. More depth on the offensive line. I don't know why the team thought we needed 2 right tackles in the draft, but you know what? Credit to him. Harvey Kendricks is an 82, so not quite the 84 that I thought, but very, very good nonetheless. And 95 agility, 92 juke. I mean, he is incredible. Just, obviously, I was never going to trade into the top 5 to take a running back when we have Dameon Pierce. It just was not going to happen. But 82, pretty awesome. And a guard that was a 77. The best player we could have drafted was Devontae Blackburn. 75 overall defensive tackle in the 5th round. It's pretty awesome. It's saying 87 overall defense now. Did it say 89 earlier, or did I just misread it? And I gave Madden crap for no reason. Although, I do like to do that. And usually there is a reason, as we are not exactly killing preseason here. Oh, Dylan Kennedy? We can get his power and finesse moves up? Or +3 power and finesse moves. What a huge boost. I love training camp standout. That's my favorite. Dude, look at his... Look at his... He looks like the Michelin Man in the back. I can't even... I can't even get it out, what I'm trying to say here. The neck rolls are crazy. I like it. I like it. That's a football player right there. Jalen Waddle, Jerry Jeudy, Forsett, and Tank Dell. The offense is amazing. The defense looks very, very good. Here's the guy that's going to make the big difference. If Dylan Kennedy can take a step up, we're going to be incredible. Oh, okay. Dylan Kennedy, by the way. This is one of the first times I've actually seen a player do this and actually accomplish the goal, or whatever it was, to continue their development. But apparently, Dylan Kennedy's built different. I mean, quite literally, his head looks like he was built to withstand car crashes. He's got 10,000 XP, and I was hoping for a development trait. Maybe he's got another challenge here that could actually lead to that. 3 combined sacks and TFLs with Dylan Kennedy to complete his breakout. So that would be the dev trait increase. I highly doubt it. Now, he's only a 71 overall run stopper. Do I just put everything into power moves? I'm going to take the opportunity to just increase him overall. I mean, TFLs are big too. So if we can just, again, develop him as a player, our team's going to get better. And it's not just about him as a pass rusher. So I think the boosts to the block shed were important. And is he going to get 3+ whatever. No, probably not. But if he does, we are set up. I mean, we lost 35-17. There's like a 0% chance he got 3 sacks or tackles for loss combined. It's highly unlikely. And yeah, he's like, I suck. Sorry. You should be. We lost 35-17. Ooh, breakout D lineman. We're only 4-3 here at week 8. Not exactly where I want to be. And of course, Dylan Kennedy. This guy's, you're not sold on him yet. All right, the DC is kind of a hater, I'm not going to lie. But we could get him up to superstar dev if we shut down what is a very, very good 5-2 San Francisco 49ers team. I have my reservations about whether or not that would actually happen, but we're going to try. This would be a huge win nonetheless. I mean, either way here, whether we manage to win or not, or manage to get the breakout challenge or not, the win was important. That's a good team. Oh, Dylan Kennedy played a heck of a game, and now he's a superstar. All right. Why do I doubt this guy? He did let us down earlier, but you know what? He's a beast. I don't even know what breakout quarterback's going to mean. He's already superstar X Factor, CJ Stroud is. So, I don't know. 400 scrimmage yards or 4 total touchdowns with CJ Stroud for a ton of XP. That's doable. And the Rams kind of bad, too. So, this could happen. Well, we won 41-39, so that absolutely could be 4 passing touchdowns for CJ Stroud. Give me some big XP here. Please. I don't know how he played. Nope. All right, he didn't have a great game. How does he not have 400 or 4 TDs in a 41-point win? Well, we didn't win by 41, but we had 41. It didn't say anything about interceptions, right? Because he had 5 touchdowns and 400 passing yards. How did he not get the breakout? It didn't say anything about interceptions, if I remember, and I was looking for it. Maybe it did, but I didn't see it. It's really stupid, because he completed both requirements, as long as interceptions don't matter. So that's pretty dumb. Okay, playoff time. I was a little bit worried we might not make the playoffs when we were 4-3, but at 6-3 and then the simulation, I feel pretty good about it. And we actually only barely sneak in. We won 10 games. And I wonder who the passing leader is with the blurred last name, with the first name Hendon. You know, Hendon Hooker's actual first name is Allen. Allen Hooker is a heck of a name. CJ Stroud, about 5,500 yards passing, 45 touchdowns, did throw 22 picks. Rushing, Dameon Pierce finally hit that 4.0 yards per carry number, 18 touchdowns. Receiving, Jalen Waddle was exceptional. Judy, Forsett, Schultz, all great. Tank Dell, obviously a bit of a step back with Jalen Waddle joining the team, but 4 touchdowns. Brevin Jordan, same deal. And then defensively, we maybe shared the sack total a little bit more. 24 tackles for loss for Eli Drew is amazing. 17.5 for Will Anderson, 8.5 for Kennedy, 5 for Freddie Thomas. You know, some guys took a bit of a step back, but overall, I still think that's pretty good. Won't allow us to lose in the wild card just by simulating a week. We have home field advantage, by the way. Did they not win like 13 games? Either way, I'm not complaining. Home field advantage, let's take advantage of it. Up 7-0 early here. Now 14-0. Offense playing well. 21-0. Offense and defense dominating here. Pittsburgh finally on the board, but it might be too little too late depending on what they do. Just not enough time. It's 31-7. Good luck making this comeback. That is your final 31-13 inverted score there. Justin Herbert is the Steelers QB, by the way, and is going home. We got home field advantage because we won the division, by the way. Even though 3 teams won 10 games in the AFC South, that's why we had home field advantage, which I guess I didn't realize we won the division or I forgot about it. But either way, that is a nice perk of winning the division. Kind of a little bit of an easier matchup in the playoffs as a result. New York Jets won 11 games with an 84 overall. They have 3 superstar X Factor players. Now, we are almost plus 10 overall on them. And it's a snow game here in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Here at Giant Stadium. What it used to be called. MetLife now, of course, with the Rays. How funny is that? The Jets were playing in Giant Stadium for years. Got up 7-0 here early. We got 3. They extend it back to a touchdown. Offense, please do something. All right, we're tied up at 10. 17-10. Keep scoring. 20-10. Oh, they're going to get right back in it. We're up by 10 here. It's been the story of this game. A minute left to play. CJ Stroud is kneeling, which means this game is over. Thanks for playing. Big road win in the snow. Stroud goes for 320 and 3 touchdowns. And we're used to playing in a dome at NRG in Houston. So going on the road in the playoffs, of course, CJ Stroud, even though I believe he's from Rancho Cucamonga, California, obviously some experience in the cold playing at Ohio State, as Freddie Thomas get a bit of an upgrade here. 1 win away from the Super Bowl. That's what we're playing for. That's what we need to get to. 95 offense, 89 defense, for a 92 overall, and we are matched up against the one team I never want to see in Madden Simulation, the Kansas City Chiefs at 99 overall, Patrick Mahomes. They still have Travis Kelce and Chris Jones. This is going to be a very good team. No bones about it. Going to be tough to beat. Can't let Mahomes come back. That's why we have to give them the lead. That's good strategy. Give them the lead first so we can make the comeback. It's 14-14 right now. It's a barn burner here. It is a slugfest. Chiefs up 17-14. Now 20-14 into the second half. And we actually take the lead 21-20. We have the football right now? Oh, we're driving. Let's go chew clock here and not let Mahomes touch the ball again. I love how this has been a glitch in Madden for years now. The 2-minute warning with chew clock on goes to 1 minute and 59 seconds. How have they not figured that out yet? We're just going to keep the clock running. They can call a timeout. I know it's 4th and 10. We're going to go up by 4 there total, so we are forcing a Mahomes touchdown. I say never go up by 6. I think it probably is the same, never go up by 4. But I don't know. 4th and 10, which is kind of a lot there. I mean, we're probably going to lose as a result. That's wide open out of the backfield. This is going to take a lot of time off the clock, though. Only like 10 seconds? Okay. Check down. I'm begging for a check down. Mahomes throws it right to Russell! Unbelievable choke! We're going to the Super Bowl! I mean, that you could not have made a more brain-dead read if you tried. Viciously bad decision. End result for the Chiefs. We're going to the Super Bowl. Carolina Panthers in the Super Bowl. Will Anderson Jr. is a 99. So, he's a beast. Need him to get like 5 sacks in the Super Bowl. Plus 3 power moves. He looks unbelievable. So this will be the final team. One of the best overall teams I've built this year. 92 overall. Jalen Waddle up to Superstar X Factor. Dalton Schultz up to Superstar X Factor. Drew up to Superstar. Kennedy up to Superstar. I mean, this is pretty wild. They're an 88 overall. Like, that's really good, but beatable. And this is the battle of the #1 overall pick versus the #2 overall pick in real life, by the way. Kind of a fun way to end this one. Carolina up early, but we answer. They score right back after that. It's 14-14 in the second half. Panthers took the lead and the ball right back. That's open up the seam. 4th and 4. We go for it like an idiot. And it works out. Nick Forsett, touchdown. 2nd and 18 after a big play on first down for us. We need to hold the Panthers. Just wrap up. Make a tackle. All right. Bryce Young has 3 touchdowns. Not really a ton of yards, to be fair. It's 3rd and 9. Obvious passing down. We are going to pass commit. Why are we in a 3-4 defense right now, dude? Let's flip that. And let's try to let our linebackers run in space. That's going to be a nice tackle. Not too hard, but a great one. So we can win this Super Bowl here with a touchdown. That's all we have to do. Stroud taking off. Looking like him against Georgia. We'll take that. We have that up the seam. You got to make the catch, Forsett. No. I always worry about possession catch there because I feel like you get worse animations. And the DB will be able to make a play on the ball. But we almost never actually catch it. Free play. We got a flag. I don't know what it is. Waddle! Couldn't bring it down. It was actually on Kenyon Green. They're going to call 2nd and 20. They really brought the safeties up on 3rd and 24. That feels like a huge mistake. I'm just going to Waddle. He's got a step. Please, Jalen Waddle down the sideline. We're not scoring. Jalen Waddle, when we needed him most, comes up incredibly clutch. All right, now we're trying to get in. So, 3rd and goal from the 6. We need 6 yards. What do we call to get it? It's obviously 2 down territory here. 4 down territory, but 3rd and goal. Time's not a factor, so. Waddle. I mean, that was not the right decision, but we were able to undercut the linebacker and I think win a Super Bowl as a result. That was, again, it was not a good decision to do that, but it worked out, and we are certainly not going to go 3 deep here. So I want some type of a pass rush, and they have to go so far. We got pretty much no pass rush. I drilled Bryce Young so late. Oh, there's time left. Oh my goodness, okay. We actually do need a pass rush here. Come on, last play of the game, Super Bowl on the line, and he's just gonna throw it away. Bryce Young, you sold. That's the game. Texans win the Super Bowl. CJ Stroud wearing that number 2. I don't know what he's wearing in real life, but that was his draft selection. Beats the number 1 overall pick in Bryce Young, who's wearing 9 in real life, but I think 1 in the game. So number 2 beats number 1. And CJ Stroud throws for 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, and most importantly, gets to hoist the Lombardi as we win the Super Bowl. Thanks, guys, for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.